There it is.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I forgot to draw my columns here on my secret, on my little very, very fancy way of doing this.
Hey, gotta keep organized. I can't find the notebook I use, so I'm doing it on little scratch pad. So all little sheets of paper falling all over the place.
Let me turn that off. No, let me not do that because then I can't hear Patrick. Let me turn that back on.
And I am still here.
And I saw your lips move, and I heard.
I'm just messing with you. Move my lips. Oh, okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Happy Monday evening to Scott and to all.
Yes, hi everyone. And of course, it takes a minute, and there's always a little commercial that runs at the beginning, so it takes a second. Well, Patrick, thank you for coming up with the idea of the Unbreakables.
Completely self-serving. I do still sell things that are breakable, but I do enjoy doing the stuff that we're going to be doing in the sale. It's easy to ship. For those that don't know me, this is a side hustle for me. So I do have a full-time job. So it's finding the time to be able to pack everything up, and packing up a shipment of champagne flutes was just getting really old. So making it easy and making it fun. I know you and I both have some fun stuff tonight.
Yes, and this has afforded me the opportunity to bring items that I would not necessarily normally sell on a Two Chaps live sale or sort of an old curiosity shop sale. I've got linens, I've got ephemera, and this now is training me to look for those types of items when I'm out shopping. So I know that I get messages from folk who say, you know, we don't have these things in my area, or I have to drive an hour to get to a flea market, or you know, maybe they just can't get out of the house and they purchase things and use them in their homes. And a lot of this seems to be popular. So it's fun to add this to the month.
Absolutely. Mix it up a little bit. And everyone's building their vignettes, you know, doing their holiday decorating and finding unique things for their home. And yeah, it's nice to have things that are breakable, but hey, frame a really great vintage advertisement or throw a vintage linen on your dining room table. You'll be the only one in town that has it.
You will.
So who do we got joining us tonight? Look, we've got a good crew coming in.
I do. I see. I'm perched here where I like to be now because, as you know, I can see the comments so much easier. So we will say hello to everyone.
Yeah, for everyone, I have to keep looking down because I'm following on my phone. So that I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to follow along on the phone.
And as usual, we can see the folks who are chatting in the chat, but we can't see the dozens and dozens and dozens of you curled up in your snuggies. If you're in certain parts of the country where it is still cold, you're not really big chatters, but you want to watch and see what we're going to sell, or just look and see if you remember anything from the old days. We know you're out there, and don't ever think that we don't appreciate that. I speak for me and Patrick.
We're here for you too. Because it makes for a fun group.
You could be watching Matlack reruns right now.
Wow, that was a random reference, but okay.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
I thought you would have pulled something a little bit older than that.
I'm a little bit older than you too, anyway, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. How old are you, Patrick? I shouldn't put you on the spot.
No, I own it. I am 53. I turned 54 in October.
Oh, well, then you'll be 54. Yeah. Okay, so we're just like about 3 years apart.
Yeah, we're not that far apart.
You would have been an annoying sophomore when I was a senior in high school.
Or looking up to Master Scott, going, "Oh, no. show me the knowledge you have in all of your vintage."
No. I'm going to change that. I would have been an annoying senior to you as a very studious. You probably got better grades than I did in high school. I was too busy.
We all had something different in high school, but yes. But I don't think I was watching Matlock in high school. I don't think my life was that desperate.
I was watching Square Peg, Square Peg, Square.
Oh my God! Yes, absolutely.
Which only had 2 seasons, or was it 1?
Really?
Yep.
I guess it's one of those cultural thing. I have it in my mind that it lasted longer than that, but you're probably right.
It was only 1 or 2 seasons at the most. And it's the first time I ever saw the waitresses performing There Goes Those Balloons.
What just happened?
I didn't do it.
I don't think I can. That's crazy.
Anyway, enough of this idiotic rambling. I speak for myself. Patrick, tell us the rules of the game.
All right. So everyone, thanks again for joining us this evening, whether you're new to the series that Scott always does, new to me, whatever the case. I'm Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile. And tonight, all of the items we'll be showing will be, I think all of them are going to be available for offer up. So we will start the bidding and we will do a countdown. You are happy to try and hold out to the end, but if you miss the countdown, once the stop goes in, the stop goes in. You got to get your bid in before the stop. We do not require you, neither Scott nor I require you to pre-register, but we ask out of courtesy that you do send us an email if you purchase something, particularly for the first time, so we have your shipping information, because even though we can see you on the screen, we can't reach out to you. We can't click on it. We can't grab your email address. So if you don't reach out to us after the sale, we will not be able to send you an invoice. I'm shipping out of Chicago. Scott is shipping outside of Philadelphia, and I will have my invoices probably, I'll try and do them in the next 2 to 3 days. Scott usually a little bit faster than that for me than I am. So when do you think your invoices will go out?
I shall send the invoices out tomorrow morning.
Mine will not be out tomorrow morning. So if you want them fast, you have to buy from Scott. Oh, and we're not combining because, again, he's in Philadelphia. I'm in Chicago. So
right.
Even when we're selling together, we cannot combine for shipping because we do not have the items in the same place. What did I miss?
Nothing. You're on.
Gonna start?
Yep.
All right. So first item up, again, this is the Unbreakable sale. So name kind of assumes nothing is going to be able to be breakable. But I do like being on Scott's channel. Always grateful when he agrees to partner with me on something. And I saw this and I thought this belonged on Scott's sale. So it is a fabric piece, a dresser scarf. It will be starting at $20.
Oh, let me get my start in. Hold on. I'm okay. I forgot. I promised that I would do that. There it is. Okay. I'm sorry. There we go.
There you go. So what this is, and I'll try and show it best I can. It is a linen, or actually a little bit heavier than linen, towel that has been turned into your little toilette brush and comb holder. So it would sit on your toilet table, and there are little pockets sewn into it, 3 separate pockets. One has a beautifully designed comb, a floral design in the middle, and then a brush. Now, you can put whatever you want in it, but it says right on there, comb and brush. And I just think this is sweet. You know, whether you use it to actually hold your combs and brushes, or use it to hold any other toiletry or any other items, or you just throw it on the back of, turn it into an antimacassar for your sofa. It's just a cute vintage piece, and it's in absolutely fantastic condition. It has the little crochet pattern stitched onto all the edges. I do believe it was hand done, because if you look at the back, you can see where some of the stitches are uneven. So I think this was probably a craft project that somebody did for their own, their own use, maybe out of a pattern out of an old book or something like that. And I just think it's a sweet little piece. So I started this at 20. I actually didn't see any bids come across. So
I don't see any just yet, but I'll go ahead and remind everyone that we move pretty lickety split here. So if you see something you like, don't be shy. And if things don't sell, then possibly they'll be brought back at the end of the night, but there's no guarantee on that. So, okay. Patrick,
as Dave said, this would be cute framed. There's just all kinds of fun things you can do with old pieces like this. So I will go ahead and set this to the side. No reason to count down since I don't see anyone bidding for it. Okay. But it will be available, again, starting price at $20.
Okay. All right. So we will go to that. What was that?
That was my tool tray behind me. I was setting up my piece.
Oh, okay. solo lay. Okay, very good. Next, I've got from 1986, dated 1986, and this is just fun, and you get both of them. I apologize if you're hearing some strange noises. 1986. Okay, we start at $5, Patrick, and look, they're in their original packages. These are a hoot. You press these on the bread, and then you stick them in the toaster. Now, I didn't have these at my house.
Those are fun.
But they're in their original little packages, and I have to tell you, I'm not, they were sold. It says, I guess it was reduced at one point. There were two little price tags on there, but look, there, one says smile, and the other one says good morning. And so, aren't they? Look at the old, like, classic 1980s toaster. Did anyone actually own these? We're looking at $5 to start.
I remember seeing them, but no, I did not own them. Karen has an opening bid at $5.
And then, of course, I love the back. I love that they even have instructions on the back, like you would actually need. Yeah, so place slice of bread in the electric toaster or under a grill. I love how they say the electric, like they still had to say at that point, use an electric toaster. Anyway, so they're plastic. They're a lot of fun, and you can cheer yourself up for your morning toast. We will count them down. Karen Williams has the high bid of $5. You get ready with the stop, Patrick, and I'm going to do the finger countdown to adjust, to allow for the lag. 10, you get both of them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now, remember, while we're waiting for Patrick, this is called the Unbreakables. So we might be stretching ephemera just a little bit, but we can do that.
Absolutely. I saw the stop, and it looks like you have Karen Williams at $5. And as Dana Grace 2010 pointed out, I was also a deprived child. We did not have engraved toast.
Karen, you are going to have fun with the Are you going to put it on one of your EAPG plates? You better.
Whatever the grandkids can play with. It looks like there's going to be entertaining the grandkids. All right, so we went from a piece of linen back to traditional ephemera. And this was another piece. When I found it, I thought this would be fun for Scott's sale because it's a little bit later than Scott's era. He's doing everything for his home in the 20s. This is Castles Underground. It's kind of got some cool art on the front of this. What this is it's talking about a design collection of Castles Underground, finishing your basement. It was put out by the American Radiator Company in 1936. So
give me your start, Patrick, so I can.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is going to start at $10 start.
Okay, $10 start.
So this is a 1936. We're 10 years after what Scott's doing. But it's the idea of finishing your basement. To be 100% honest, I didn't realize it in the 30s. That was something you did. I thought that rec rooms became something later, like after the war. It was sent out by Marshall Fields, so a Chicago-based company where I'm at. And it was something that probably was given away for free. And then as you go into it, it actually has photographs of finished basements. There's Scott's floor right there.
I knew we were going to see some wonderful linoleum.
And it gives the floor plan of how you can lay out your basement. And it gives you some costs of what it would cost to do the cabinet work, to do the painting, to do all the work to do these conversions. So it's kind of a catalog, not really a catalog. It's really more of a service because then you could pay Marshall Fields to help you do this. So it kind of is a sales catalog for Marshall Fields. But it's really one of these cases of the idea of the ephemera to do some studies. If you were really into home design from the 30s, this is first primary research right here. These are photographs from 1930s of what basements, how many people had those columns in their basement that you have to design around. Well, I'll give you the floor plans.
I do. I have those columns.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's a all black and white, unfortunately, no color photographs, but sometimes you're turning them into kitchens, you know, so you've just got some fun images in here. And again, I'm a big supporter of framing ephemera. This is in good condition, so it'd be unfortunate if you wanted to cut it apart, but the whole idea of vintage ephemera is making sure it has a life going into the future. Yeah. So if it has life by showing off these framed prints, that's how it's going to have its new life. So we were starting at $10. I do not believe we had any bids come in on this. So we will just go ahead and move along in time so we can cover more items tonight. So this will be set aside to see if someone would like it later.
A grand piano. And did I see a harp also in the basement?
Well, yeah, we got a music room. Now, how do you get your harp into the basement? You know, that was...
Whose basement was that? Must have been Amelita Galli-Crucci or somebody like that.
And I guess the basements of that era, did your home have the basement, the cellar access where it was from external? Did you have an outside door that entered into your basement, or was yours entirely internal?
Oh, no. My basement is what's called a walkout in Jersey. The foundation is so high that the basement is only about 1 foot subterranean. And so there's an actual back door that you open up. Now, granted, I have to duck a little bit. It's only like a 5 foot door, maybe 5 foot something. So, but you just open the door and you step down maybe 8 to 12 inches and you're right there. So it's very, very high like that.
Lisa saying that her grandparents' basement in Philly had a dirt floor. So that's...
I've been in those.
You have to fix that first before you can convert your basement. No harp on the dirt floor.
I hope the washing machine doesn't overflow. I have for you an antimacassar, better known as a doily. Wonderful. Is it handmade? Probably. And we're going to go ahead and start out with $12 on this. And it measures 18 by 10. So 18 across by 10. And the 10 inches is the longest point from here down to these points right here. Now, you know what an anti-macassar is. The macassar oil that the men would rub into their hair would get on the backs of the upholstery in the parlor, and the women didn't like it. So they would put these where, you know, you would lean your head back, and we all know the scene from, what is it, Coming to America? That's
the one.
That's a little bit different. But anyway, you get the idea. It's clean. It's not starched. It's got one little break in it somewhere. Break meaning, oh, you know, one little spot that got nicked somewhere and I don't see it. But if you look at it closely, you'll see there's that classic 1920s, 30s censer bowl with the flowers coming out of it. Just can you imagine little flower frogs sitting down in there?
Absolutely. That's such a cool design.
Your great-grandparents would pin these to the backs of their mohair chairs and sofas and whatnot. And they would pin to the back of the chair like this, of course, as you know. And then I can lean my greasy head all over it and not damage the upholstery, because you can take
Karen is starting you out at $12.
Very good.
And when no one's sitting there, it looks nice and pretty. So you have to have it as attractive.
Now, I don't know whether or not this is something that would have been handmade or machine made. I don't have that type of expertise, but it certainly does come from that era of the Great Depression when all of the upholstered furniture were covered in these. And if we have no questions on it, Patrick, I shall go ahead and count down.
I will watch for it.
The doily. Don't ask me to spell anti-macassar. ANTIMACCSASAR, possibly.
Yeah, you started it okay, but you kind of drifted there.
Oh, okay.
Once you got to the middle.
Yeah. They taught me phonics in 1972, and I still can't spell. 10, 9. Oh, don't get mad, English teachers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I was close with my spelling.
And we've got the stop.
All right.
And it looks like we've got Karen K for $12.
That is Karen K, K-A-Y.
Yes, correct.
At 12. Karen K at 12. Karen, thank you so much. And thank you everyone who placed bids on that.
All right. So since Scott talked about not make sure the teachers do not get upset, end of the school year is coming up and your child's teacher, your grandchildren's teachers are tired of getting coffee mugs. So if you want to give them something original, how about some vintage ephemera? So this is going to be a $15 start. And what this is a 1913 teacher's catalog. So it says right on the front, A. Flanagan, happens to be based out of Chicago, but it's a nationwide company, established in 1883, their 30th year. 1913, this is literally a catalog. The index, interestingly enough, is in the very beginning of the book of all of the materials that they had available. You could buy the books that you were going to use in your classroom. So you got supplementary reading, grades 2 to 3, stories to tell. So you've got stories to tell, grades 2 to 3 by Julia Darrow, 124 pages, 35 cents. And it says original and selected stories equally suitable. So before you had Amazon, you had to have a catalog. And it's a beautiful piece because, and I really do feel that this would make a great gift. It'd be great for your own, if you were a teacher, something, if you do an end of a school year, start of the school year vignette, because it's got teachers plastered across the front. Teachers are an underappreciated asset in this country. And these kind of things just don't exist anymore. So you've got what kind of library you should build. So if you're building a library for all grades and you have $10, here are the 35 books you should buy. Mother Goose Stories, Robinson Crusoe Reader, Two Little Indians, Nature and History Stories. It gives you the suggestions and you can just keep going through it. Books on drawing, just look at the beautiful, they did some illustrations of some of the books. So it's just it is a catalog. So I'm Trusty Huckster. I'm a huckster. I love offering catalogs. A lot of times you have to find the right audience for them. And this is one of those crossover audience pieces because people love their teachers. And just check out, they don't even make books like this anymore. Check out the illustration, the engraving done on the front of that book. It's just beautiful. And it's showcased throughout. And it's a fairly decent size catalog. It's 209 pages long.
Oh my, how generous.
No, it has a nice spine to it. It's in really nice condition. The cover is fully attached. You got the back. You can see more information on the back. You can see the spine, not torn, not split. And all the pages inside are well attached. So at this point, it looks like we've got a couple bids on this one. So I will go ahead and count it down. What I see is KP Gunther is the highest at 21.
I see that.
But I will go ahead and start the countdown and see who else wants to sneak in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And that is the 1913 Teacher's Catalog.
All right, I'm going to hit refresh, and I did allow for the lag because I'm watching Patrick on a different screen other than the one which we're both broadcasting on, and that does account for the lag. So I have the stop in there, and I do believe it is KP Gunther at 21.
Thank you so much, KP. And if anyone follows, KP has a great Instagram post for today where she showcases some of the pieces that she's picked up. She actually bought another book from me last month and had a nice little post on that and some pieces she picked up from Scott as well. So
she did. And she sent me, she doesn't think I read her emails because I almost never write back. And I know people get so mad at me. I am horrible.
He doesn't respond to me either, everybody. He's a busy man.
Well, I don't have anybody to help me with any of this. And I'm not complaining. I get tons and tons of emails and I read them. I do. And I try. Sometimes you'd be surprised. I might answer an email 2 months after I get it. Unless something is broken, and I will refund you instantly. And I've got my folks out there who buy from me know that. But anyway, KP, thanks for the email that you sent with the restored Spelter goddess clock topper. We had the poor little light bulb on the top of her head. You did a great job with that. All right, let's go. We have 335 people watching you, Patrick.
And now they're going to be watching you because you've got the next item.
And we welcome everyone, and we're so glad you're here. Don't forget, we are doing this every fourth Monday of the month. Notice I didn't say the last Monday because next month we have a fifth Monday, and I'll be doing an extra special live sale then. But anyway, so this is a regular thing now, just like the two chaps is the second Monday, and now the Unbreakables is the fourth Monday. I hope I said that right.
Yep.
I've got a photograph to sell, and it's $10. We're going to start at $10 on an absolutely charming original photograph. I'm going to show it to you. It's not dated, but I'm going to date it around 1920. And I want you, the audience, to type in the comments, what is so unusual about this photograph? What do you find somewhat unusual? Let me go in. There are maybe two specific things that I find relatively unusual about a photograph that is more than 100 years old. And we're starting at $10. The measurements on the photograph are 10 by 14. 10 by 14. What's so unusual about that? His haircut? Well, maybe. I wasn't thinking his haircut, but you know what? His hair isn't all greased down. Yeah, Gary and Kathleen, he's smiling and he ain't got no shoes on. Not post-mortem. It's such an unusual photograph that he is so casual. And even children, you know, they weren't allowed to smile and they were all dressed. Very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen, even though it's a child, a photograph so unusual. He's looking right at the camera. He's in a studio, so I'm not sure what he's on, but this is a false backing. You know, in the photographic studios, this would all be painted. This wainscoting is all painted, like on a set, you know, Patrick, a set design.
Yeah.
But very unusual that he's looking right at the camera. He has a very, you know, charming grin. Casually holding on.
Sleeves are rolled up.
Yeah, the little jacket, the no shoes. Very informal. And at least unusual for something that probably dates to about 1920. Now, I gave you the measurements. I don't know where it was taken. I don't know who he is. But I like old photographs. And the last thing I'll show you, and this will be a surprise for you because I broke my magnifying glass. And I didn't notice this until I was already on StreamYard. So I could not look. But way down here in the corner is the stamp, which will tell you where it was, you know, who the photographer was and exactly where it was photographed. So that'll be a surprise. If anyone wins this, you'll get a surprise to find. And I know it's blurry. You're like, well, Scott, we can't see anything. I know my camera just does not focus when I zoom in, but you will be able to see who took the picture and who the photographer was. And that might, just for curiosity, to see where it was from. Okay, no bids. We're going to put it aside, and we'll bring him back at the very end of the show, I think. And let's go back now to Patrick, and we'll give you the solo spot.
All right, we're going to go back to another item of linens. This is one of my favorite finds that I picked up, and I picked it up specifically to be able to offer here on Scott's channel. So this, I'm not 100% sure on the timing of this. I'm going to say it's probably the 90s, 1990s. So not as old as some of the other stuff that I offer, but it's such a complete piece because what this is, it has, if you can see it, it has the original Saks Fifth Avenue price tag on the bag that shows that at the time this was done, it was $145. So this was an expensive piece back in its day. whatever that day is. But also you can kind of somewhat tell it's older because there's no barcodes. There's no, it looks like maybe it was computer generated.
Patrick, did you give me a start?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a start of $35.
35. Very good.
So you can see there's some age to this, but you know, I'm guessing the 90s. It still has the original bag that it came in. I did try and do a little bit of searching for the company. That didn't have much success, so I'm not sure. But what this is a tablecloth that has never been used. I got this from an estate sale, so this was purchased, maybe a wedding gift or something like that. It still has the original Saks Fifth Avenue. It was hand embroidered in Madeira, which is Portugal. It is polyester, so again, this isn't super, super old. It's got the size right on there, 66 by 106. And it is a hand embroidered lily pads across this oval shaped tablecloth. So just be aware it has a curved scallop that has been sewn into the edges. And you can see, hopefully you can tell, it's somewhat sheer. So it's very lightweight. And the detail work in the embroidery is gorgeous. So you've got the green lily pads with the lotus flower, but then you also have the blue of the hyacinth. I'm guessing it's a hyacinth. I could be wrong on that. I don't know what grows in the middle of a pond, but you also have the accent of blue. So it's not just green. If you can see the blue color that shows up there. So it's an absolutely gorgeous piece. And it has the designs on the corners. So this done at the angle. So that's got the big flowers. It also has the design done at the midpoint on the sides. So as this drapes over the edge of your table, you would have this design as well. And as I bury myself in gossamer rings, you would see there's quite a bit of open space in the middle so that you're not covering, your food is not going to cover the pattern. So you just have,
I beg your pardon. You're being asked for the measurements again, Patrick.
Oh, it was 66 by 106.
Okay.
And again, just remember, it's not a rectangle. It is, it still has a flat edge. So it's, I think it's considered oblong. So it's not a true oval because the end is still flat, but it does have a curved piece. So 66 by 106. 100% Dacron polyester, but hand done, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful embroidery work. So really happy to pick that one up. Do we have any takers so far?
We do.
Excellent. It's just a gorgeous piece. And again, if we do the backpedaling on the time, assuming this is 90s, maybe even 2000s, you know, something 20 years ago was selling for $145 at Saks Fifth Avenue. This was once upon a time a very expensive piece, and it is absolutely in pristine condition. So I'm glad that this is going to go to a new home. So I will go ahead and start counting this down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. We're finishing that up. And I will ship it in. It's a little in the original bag. So you have all the documentation on it that I do. And maybe you might be more successful in discovering more information on the date of it. But it's a beautiful piece. And I think Scott typing stio is his version of stop.
Listen, it's been a rough day. And you know, sometimes I'm in and out. Apparently I'm in and out today, so I don't know where that came from, but it was Kathleen Workman for 35.
And thank you so much, Kathleen. I'm so glad you were able to pick that up.
Probably my mistake is I'm noshing on salted peanuts while I'm off screen. That's what I'm doing, and I got too tangled up in my salted peanuts. I couldn't type the word stop. Now, let me go solo here for a second. Do we have any 1940s folks out there. I don't mean that's when you were born. A lot of you were born in the 40s. Are you into Fiestaware? Are you into the Southwestern design that was popular in kitchens?
Who isn't into Fiestaware?
Well, I got something for you. $20 is where we start.
All right. I just gave all my Fiesta dinnerware pattern. All my Fiesta dinnerware just went to my daughter to start her first apartment.
Well, you tell your daughter she's not going to find a tablecloth in any better condition than this.
Oh, wow.
We're going back to the 1940s, Southwestern California pottery, Fiesta, all of that stuff. Let me give you the measurements. They are 45.5 inches by 55.5. I'm telling you, 45.5 by 55.5. It's not ripped or stained. I have to stand up. I didn't tuck in my shirt tail. Pardon me.
I warned you, young man.
I am wearing pants. Now, obviously it's been washed several times, but the condition on it is supercalifragilistic happy halitosis. The colors are vibrant. It's not ripped. It's not threadbare. It doesn't have mustard all over it. And it simply screams, hello, it's the 1940s. Can you hear the Andrews sisters right now? You know that you can. I've given you the measurements, and I'll stand all the way back and make sure you know that it's 45.5 by 55.5. And I'm asking $20 to begin. Can you still hear me back here?
Yep, you're good.
All right, there it is. There it is. Did I tell you that it doesn't have stains? Did I tell you that it's not?
You even said no mustard. You even specified.
And it doesn't even have a hint of horseradish on it.
And poodle's starting you off at $24.
Well, I'll tell you what. We love our old-timey tablecloths. And if you like to decorate in the 40s style, this is for you. And it's totally a 40s pattern. And the Southwestern theme, remember we had all those little kissing Dutch? And then in the 50s, the roosters. Well, for a period of time in the 40s, it was all Southwestern cactus. And am I holding it still enough for you? I guess I'm not. I get too animated and I don't.
There you go. A lot of the ones you were showing the pattern was upside down, so you just got to.
I know. I'm trying to let you see.
But it's nice because it's multi-directional, so no matter how you put it on your table, someone will have a pattern facing them.
Indeed.
Got the covered wagon. Got all the sombreros.
And I wash everything. This doesn't stink like mothballs, or somebody's moldy basement. We'll count this.
Casey pointed out the colors are so bright, and it screams its era.
Yeah,
but in a good way.
It screams 1940s all the way.
But in the right hands, that could also suddenly be absolutely ultra modern. You put some just red glass around it or something like that, and just apply up some of those colors. It's a fun pattern.
I will count it down, and I'll fold it back up for you now. It's got cacti on it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. I've held on to that for a long time.
All right. It looks like we had a couple sneak in here. Need to refresh it. And it looks like because it's cool, sniped in right at the last minute and got it at $33.
Because it's cool, I have a feeling I know who you is.
And for those who have not purchased before, my email address is on the screen. And Scott, I will put, when I have a chance, I will put Scott's email address in the chat.
David and Tammy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That tablecloth will be on its way to Texas. Thank you, David, and thank you everyone who placed bids. If you didn't win, I'm sorry you didn't win. I will keep looking for more. Patrick, it's your turn.
All right. So I went ahead and pulled this from my stack because we were talking about the 40s. I've got something from the 40s. Now, I am not pulling in the Southwest. I'm pulling what was very common in the 40s, patriotism. So we've got a start of this is $15 and it is a set of books. And it is all about the graphics and it's all about something to do with the kids, because what this is the red, white, and blue Stickum cutouts. The box has some amazing graphics on the side. You got the Statue of Liberty. You've got all the stars. You've got the Capitol building, you've got the Mayflower. And inside is a set of books. Now, fair warning, this says it holds 6 books in this box. There are only 5. One of the books, unfortunately, is missing. But the 5 that are in here have been unused. So first, you've got a great box. You know,
wow.
If you're doing a 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, any sort of vignette, you have an absolutely fantastic backdrop for your vignette. But then the meat are the books. So we've got famous presidents, famous Americans, airplanes and ships, American pioneers, and historic landmarks. And they're all designed the same way. So they all, you can see the cover images. When you open it up, you have a layout, and then you've got all the stickers to make that layout. And in every case, these stickers have not been cut. They've not been pulled apart. And now I believe what they are is I think you wet the back to stick them on. Now I can't guarantee that the adhesive would still be any good, but just check out the color of these. You know, that bright blue, you got the gray and the red, and it's great children's activity. Or again, turn this into a vignette. You could make the Capitol building with all the pieces, or just have the books sitting there. You've got a conversation piece. Anyone comes over to your house and looks at what you're doing for the holidays. The statue of George Washington, we got a little esoteric as we got into making the pieces, but there you go. There's a silhouette of George Washington. You can make your own statue. You get into some of the famous, the people, American pioneers, same thing. Open it up. You've got the Pilgrim Father. You've got all the pieces to be able to do it. So they all have the same color scheme. So you could turn this into a craft project and then frame all the finished works that you've done, because they would all match. They're all the exact same size, and they all use the exact same color scheme to make all of the individual images. And so again, airplanes and ships. This is, everyone gets to practice their Roman numerals. MCM 19, XLI. So we are 1941. So that is when these were made. So the World War II has started, but we haven't joined in yet. But Americana is already at the forefront. So I see we did have a bid from back in the day finds. So we will go ahead and do the countdown. Again, 5 books in the box. You get all of them for the whatever the bid is. So $15. We're going to count down at 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And this was a fun find, and I'm glad that it's going to be going to a new home. All right, it looks like I see the stop, and looks like back in the day finds gets it for $15. So thanks for picking that up.
We will stay in the 1940s for a little while longer before I decide to dip back into the 20s. And what is so neat about ephemera, I'll go ahead and let Patrick know that we're going to start at $4 on this. So when you get a moment, Patrick, just type in start at $4. This is something that will hit home with a lot of you, I think. You're getting 2 little pieces of paper. What are they? Well, we're going to save that. It looks like green stamps, but hold on. what I've got for you is an original World War II sugar ration coupon from the USA. Now, let me read it to you, right? And then I'll show it to you. It says, United States of America, Office of Price Administration. This is dated July the 2nd, 1942. And this certifies that B. Lloyd Weissel, whoever Mr. Weissel was, he lived at 300 Arch Street in Percy, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. This coupon allows him for 12 pounds of sugar pursuant to rationing order number 3, sugar rationing regulations of, and at a price not to exceed the maximum price established by the Office of Price Administration. Bucks County, issued July the 2nd, 1942, signed by the deputy clerk. And there it is. It's one little second in American history, right? When our grandparents couldn't get margarine. They couldn't get new tires for their Oldsmobile. They couldn't get a new waffle iron. They did what they could, and one was going without sugar. Look at the sugar ration. I suppose this means that Mr. Weissel never used it, or Mrs. Weissel. Yeah.
And we've got a couple of bids coming in. We're up to $5.
Not only do you receive the sugar ration, but you also receive this, which is a fuel ration. And these are little stamps, and it says 5 units of fuel oil. Now, I don't know whether that would have been oil to heat your house. It says fuel oil, so I'm guessing this would be for the home furnaces rather than gas. But I'm no expert on this. Fuel oil, 50 gallons. Yeah. So that very well may have. We had a lot of folks used oil and coal in those days to heat their homes. So, a sugar ration coupon. If you're a World War II aficionado, July the 2nd, 1942, and then the little oil ration coupon as well. So probably for heating oil. We will go ahead and count these down. I think Gail Cathy has the high bid right now at $6. And we'll go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now, where am I going to put it so that I do not step on it? I'm always stepping on something around here.
All right, I got the stop one in, and it looks like we just had a last minute one. Let me refresh really quick.
All right, I think Gail might have outbid herself.
Gail came in after the stop, so Kathleen Workman was at $8.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, $8.
Yes, I had Kathleen and Karen came in before the stop, but Kathleen was higher at $8, and then Gail was right behind it. And I did refresh, and so I am seeing Gail after the stop.
It's going to come to you in this little glassine. I'm not even know if you call this glassine anymore, but whatever that is. Do they say glassine, or is that?
That's what I think glassine's not as thick, but I think it's representative of what it. And I like what Joan says. Same thing. We're all on the same page. Great for history teacher. You know, it is coming to the end of the school year, end of academic for colleges. These just put this in you can go to the dollar store and pick up an inexpensive frame, piece of black acid-free construction paper, put that on there, and you've got a perfectly unique gift that everyone will remember who gave it to them.
And when you hold something like that and you put yourself in the mindset of someone having to decide, what are we going to do with this sugar? You know, are we going to have sweet tea, or are we going to have, you know, so anyway, fascinating. Okay.
It's a great conversation tool for those of us who are lucky enough to have people that lived through that era. Hey, what was it like living in the house? You know, did you get cupcakes or a birthday cake for your birthday because there was no sugar? You are
being asked a question which you may or may not be able to answer right now.
I will check as soon as Scott starts selling his next item, but thank you so much for offering that. Okay. The next, I did kind of poke around. I have a couple things. I'm not sure I've got anything specific to the 40s. So we're just going to go back to this next item that I had to offer. We are starting at a $10 start. And for $10, you are getting everything in this tray.
Ah,
What this is, it's the contents of a architect / draftsman's drawer. It's everything that was in there. So we've got the plastic. Let's see what this one was, a protractor. You have this like radius making tool or some sort of where it's got the distances between the tool. You get that. You get this little cool Eberhard Faber microtomic pencil box with all the pencils that are in there. You get, how cool is this? A triangular shaped ruler. It's got the 3 sides to it, wood. You know, I remember these growing up. These, I've not seen one of these in forever. You've got these cute little, you'd have to clean them out because there's some old stuff in here, but these cute little plastic poster paint tubs. These are cute little things to hold whatever you want. These are probably from the 80s. So these are a little bit later. An entire box of X-Acto blades. All of these old packaging with the original vintage advertising of the knife blades from X-Acto, X-ACTO. You've got, how do you sharpen your pencils? A sandpaper board. You've got multiple sandpaper boards in here. So you've got those, which is just, this is like for anyone who likes industrial design, just prop that up in a little vignette, this little cardboard box of marking leads, Listo leads. Just look at the graphics on this. I mean, most of this stuff probably dates, I would think, back into the 50s or 60s. You know, this old bottle of India ink, very much dried up, but still there. You've got little templates to be able to do these. I guess I think this was a drafting desk. So all these little things. You have all of these boxed Rapido guides. And it's the stencils to do lettering. You know, just look at that graphic that was being done. So again, it's just super bold, and you've got this little cheat sheet. There's a couple of those. You've got this one in a little envelope. And this one, it's the French curve. So you've got this cool plastic design from Post to make these French curves. Like there's just fun little, there's curved tape. You got the little lead tape that you could actually apply to your designs. There's another Rapido, a smaller Rapido guide. KP saying Rapidograph, like that's something I wasn't familiar with that term, but it's another smaller template to do smaller lettering. And these were used. You know, you can see that where the ink kind of overpowered the edges, which letters he used more often. And it's a snapshot in time. It's everything in the box. You put this in like a big brass bowl or a big copper dish or a big plate. You've got something tactile for every person that comes to your next dinner party. It's like, oh my God, I remember this. Oh my God, this is so cool. Oh, I remember these. Or my dad had one of these, or whatever. Even like an old industrial paper holder. Like I'm just literally throwing everything into the mix. The old-fashioned pencils that he used. Some of these are older than others because, you know, he probably did this over years. Another little box or a little container with more blades. So there's just a lot of fun little stuff in here. Old, the rubber erasers. These are really old. This feels almost like granite now, so I don't think they're going to serve much erasing. But even like the little placards that would have been used for some of the designs that he did, you get it all. I was originally going to sell this in my booth, and I was just concerned with so many loose pieces that something might disappear, that somebody might not be able to resist walking away. Because this by itself, you know, we talk about framing things. Find a little way to put this into a shadow box. Everyone's going to want to know what it is. I don't actually know 100% what it is, but you can see there it's writing utensils on a stick. And it's just a super cool, super unique industrial design. So everything in the box, I think we've got, the bids are up to $12, and I will go ahead and start counting it down. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And we'll see where we ended up once we see the stop going into the chat. Oh, we got somebody sneaking in. Got back in the day finds. Might have made it before the cutoff. I'll let Scott make the final decision.
It appears as though back in the day, Fines has an $18 bid just before the stop.
All right. So thank you for picking that up. Enjoy. And this goes for both of us. It's easier because I'm on Instagram, but for those of you that buy these things and then put them into a vignette or make designs out of them like KP did, send them to us. Let us know what you did with them, because I love seeing what people do with some of these unique pieces. I just want to find them the right home. I'd like to see what that home looks like once you use it. And back to Scott. Oh, and I will check on Kathleen's, make sure I've got Kathleen's information.
Oh yeah, Kathleen wanted to know about that. Okay, solo layout. All right. I particularly appreciate that, seeing all of those things, Patrick. I have in common with 2 or 3 people that were watching. My father was a draftsman in his early career and then became a structural steel designer. And I have almost everything that you just showed.
Fun. My family has a steel background as well. My grandfather, a steel background as well. My grandfather was a salesman for the steel mills.
Was he?
Yeah.
I apologize for doing that. Instinctively, when I can't hear, I do that. But anyway, thank you for showing all of those things. I always remember creeping into my father's home office when he wasn't there, because I wasn't supposed to be in there necessarily, and looking at the drafting board and pulling out the drawers, and I can smell the lead pencils and just all of those little things, the accoutrements that went along with his drafting. And so a lot of you, that brings back memories for a lot of folks. Thanks for showing it. Okay. Next up, I've got a table. I've got a, let's see, we're going to, it's 8:57. We're coming up on intermission, but let's go ahead and do this. I have a table runner for you, a luxurious table runner. This goes way back, Edwardian, 1920s. It's an old one. We're going to start at $15 on it, Patrick.
You got it.
And it measures 36 by 17, 36 inches long by 17 inches wide, and it is luxurious. Now, I'm using the general term table runner. Whether you put it on a dining room table, a buffet, a dresser, a console table, that's your call. But I'll let you see how beautiful and luxurious the front of it is. I'm guessing this is red velvet or red satin. I don't know. I don't know my fabrics. So I'll let you look at how beautiful it is. It's a little small for a piano scarf, but piano scarves are usually good, you know, hey, well, you know, you got a small piano, go right ahead.
There you go. Toy piano scarf.
Put it wherever you want. I mean, it could even be, you know, I could be right, you know, right off of Ellis Island. Oh, I hope I get to Jersey City.
LG's starting off at $15.
But look, not only it's got look at the fringe. Woo, look at the fringe here hanging off of the side of it. Folks, this is old. Now, what do you call it when there's a pattern? Not brocade, but it's almost like a frieze. It's a gosh,
Is
I
it
don't
burned
know.
into it?
No. You can feel the plushness of it. It's like raised. I don't know the language, so I'm going to sound like an idiot if I try to describe it. But it's got a pattern on it. Yeah, embossed. Okay, I'll say embossed. Flowers. I don't know how well it comes up. Can you see the embossed flowers?
I can see what looks like an ostrich feather, like a very, very flowy feather.
So the back of it, I'll let you see, that's the back of it. Now this is an old one. Yeah, well, I was thinking damask too, Vicky. Like an embossed damask.
I think damask is woven. I don't know. I don't know my velvets though, so I don't know.
No, I don't know. I'm superbly ignorant when it comes to this, so caveat emptor. But I can tell you this: the condition is wonderful. It's not ripped, torn, stained, and it doesn't stink. All right, now this has been on a table, and you will see here that somebody had something sitting. Where is it? There's like a little circular, right? Somebody had a candlestick there. You know, if you want to get that out, I guess you could wet that and maybe put a damp iron, a very light iron on it. I don't know. That's up to you. But anyway, the condition is wonderful. The color is beautiful. And we're way back in those glorious days when everybody put, you know, interiors were so rich with fabrics.
The color is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's not faded at all. So, and I love the fringe on the sides.
It's so long, and it's in such good condition that it's still there. It hasn't been tugged off.
No, it's still there.
Gorgeous.
I've used this in several places here in my own home, but I've decided it's time for it to find a new home where it can be appreciated in another setting. And so we'll count it down. And here we go. Unless there are any questions. 10, 9, 8. Look out, Ferdinand the bull. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now it's time for intermission. We'll go ahead and get a winner on this wonderful.
All right. I need to scroll because there was a bid that came in that I missed initially. It looks like a Florida Golden Girl was not pulling any punches. She hit you at $50 right in. And I do not see anyone topping that.
Rip Torn. I remember Rip Torn. One of those 70s comedians. Was it Florida Golden?
So, yep, it looks like it's a Florida Golden Girl at 50. So Patsy M came in right before the stop, but she was thinking the bid was high. It was only 22. So looks like Florida Golden Girl. She was serious. She wanted it because it's gorgeous. I mean, it's worth every bid, 50 if not more.
Well, it's 100 years old. I can tell you, I know it goes back to that era, that sort of 1915 to 1925. Once you get into the 30s, that was sort of a fussy, old-fashioned style of decorating, and it really starts to fade. But Florida Golden Girl, thank you, everyone.
And if I remember correctly, she picked up a couple of those table runners you offered the last time, those heavy silk ones.
And I hope she's enjoying them because they should have made it to her by now. They did go out and you have room. Excellent. Wonderful, wonderful. It is so neat. I love people who are not afraid of color and richness in our interiors. Hopefully, no more of this gray. Oop. It's intermission. What should we do? We're going to take a 5-minute intermission.
Excellent.
As we normally do. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. Would you like to have the solo screen, or do you need to take a break for a quick break too?
No, you don't need to put me on solo screen, but I won't go anywhere. I will monitor the chat and see what people are saying in the chat.
All right.
So Jeffrey has joined us, so welcome back, Jeffrey.
Okay, so I'm going to hit refresh. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. We're going to start in about 3 minutes from now. The intermission is kind of a thing that we do here. We've got 300 and we're just shy of 350 folks here tonight, and I'm so happy.
So if you can jump into, make sure you thumbs up the chat so that Scott gets that count for his channel. Let's see who else has joined us. Yeah, Scott's an older man. He's got what we determined 3 years on me, so he needs a break. I don't need a break. So go Florida. So how many Florida Golden Girl did you? Do I remember correctly? Did you pick up a couple of those the last time? I can't remember what colors those were. If everything's in that burgundy color. I remember there was one that he offered the last sale that I almost bought because I think it might have been the same colors. And that one that you just bought, I'm staring at my accent wall in my living room is that color. So it's absolutely, I just love those deep, deep, deep colors. So congratulations on picking that up. And Philip is defending gray. Does look good with pink, but only as an accent. There's nothing wrong with gray.
Philip, I don't have a problem with gray, but I've had enough of gray, 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 gray,
Yes.
gray, gray, gray.
So if you do like a gunmetal gray, that goes really good with burgundy. You know, you can actually start, you know, if you get into the dark where the gray is an actual color, not a neutral. And I think where gray is just basically turned into another white. That's where all the design. A shop that I used to have a booth in has turned into a little bit more of a lifestyle center. It's no longer an antique store. And you walk in and all the furniture is this beautiful old brown furniture that has been painted white because everyone needs white. And the chippy white doesn't seem to be as popular anymore. Now it's just plain white. And it's just like, okay, that was a gorgeous piece. And you had this Jacobean leg and this, you know, this great detail, and you just destroyed it by painting it white. But if that's what gives it a new life, people don't want dark brown furniture. They want light furniture. Then it helps something survive to the next generation.
Patrick, intermission is over and it's your turn.
All right. I did find one of the items that I was trying to get my hands on earlier, so I will jump back into the 40s because this was something I had picked up, and these were just fun. So I don't tend to have so many things geared for kids, but it is going to be the end of the school year, so could be for kids, could be for your grandkids' activities, or for gifts for teachers. These are booklets. I'm sorry. These are starting at $15. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are booklets that were issued by the Coca-Cola Bottling Company. And they were issued in, we all get to practice our Roman numerals again. They were issued in 1943. So we're back in the 40s. And what we have are activity booklets. So it comes in two pieces. These are completely untouched. These have not been used at all. So it's just like those, the sticker books for the patriotism sticker books. So it's Our America. Okay, I don't know why I'm starting with the cotton one. I'm starting with the most bizarre one of them, but it is cotton, material for 1,000 needs. And when you open it up, it gives the history of cotton and textile production in the United States. Some lovely little illustrations that go along with it. But the activity is, get to the right section. You make these little signs. So there's a little activity project. Make a list of historic buildings in the United States. And when you're done with it, you have this set of little cutout pictures that then you fill into the book. So again, all three of these are completely untouched. They have not been cut. They've not been pasted. There's information on the back. They're kind of like trading cards, but they're super lightweight. Oh, so that's interesting. Philip's saying cotton prices shot up during World War II. So maybe that's why. So again, these are Coca-Cola put this out. So we've got cotton. We have electricity. And my personal favorite, transportation builds a nation. Because check out these 1940s graphics.
Wow.
You got you got some historic, you got the Kitty Hawk, but you got the old fashioned, not penny farthing. What's the penny bicycles called? I can't remember now. Covered wagon, like what Scott showed earlier. So you just got this whole history of transportation, but done in this amazing, look at the bus. I mean, just like, you know, and all the men with their fedoras and the women with their hats. Because it's 1943. You know, even the image of New York skyline, you know, just a very modern, you know, we've passed Deco. We've just gone into this very squared off, but still curved, with the airplane flying over the mountains. All of these, and they're just activity booklets. And they all have the Coca-Cola logo. So if somebody collects Coca-Cola, you also, this is a Coca-Cola collectible, but it's not Coca-Cola. You know, it's basically promoting industry, but all the backs of all the books developed by the Coca-Cola company and approved by leading educators. So again, it was designed probably for use in a school, I'm assuming. And there are 3 of them. You get all 3. So for whatever the price ends up being, you get all 3, and all 3 of them have the booklet and their full sheet of images. All 3 of them are in absolutely pristine, unused condition. They could be framed, but you could, again, turn it into a little activity project. Like, just, some of the activities were even interesting. Let's look at the activity for cotton. And he was like, what is your clothing made out of? So before you put it in, bring to class a specimen of strong cotton duck. Explain how such cotton cloth differs from other cloth. Make a list of articles we obtain from quarries and mines. How do explosives help us obtain these articles? Penny farthing. Thank you, Hobo Jungle. I was like, I knew I was on the right track, but I suddenly was thinking of something else. So it's just a fun activity for either for your kids or, again, for a teacher. These were educators used in the classroom. So we've got some bids. So we will go ahead and do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and close. And thank you for those who bid on that. It's just, again, it's one of those fun, and these are the types of things I love picking up, because this is the true definition of ephemera. This shouldn't exist. This would not have been designed to be kept around for this long. It would have been used and thrown away. For some reason, someone kept it, never used it, kept it, and now it's going to go to someone else to give it a future home. And it looks like that future home is going to go to back in the day finds. Am I correct, Scott?
You are indeed.
All right, for 21. So thank you so much.
All right, I've got another table runner for you. I think this might be the last one of the evening. And I'm going to enlarge myself, but I will announce for Patrick that we're going to start at $30 on this table runner. We start at $30, and I'll tell you that the measurements are 36 by 12. 36 by 12. Okay.
Sorry, that was my Alexa getting excited.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could lighten. Never mind. Okay. 36. Normally, Alexa doesn't, get very excited. Well, I don't have Alexa, so anyway. 36 by.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, Patrick, I've had this for.
I was like, how are you letting that go?
I know. Don't please don't even ask me. This is another beautiful table runner. We're way back in the 1920s on this, and this has to be silk. Look at the colors on it. This did not sit in front of a window and get faded. That side got faded, and I'll tell you how it got faded. But that's the back side. The front side, let's zoom in on it. Oh my goodness. This is very thick, and it's got a finished edge, and it's lined on the back with a green velvet. And then on the front, it's not stained, it's not ripped. It doesn't have any fading on the front. And $30 is where we start on this table runner. The measurements, again, 36 by 12.
Excuse me where I run and measure one of my consoles to see if that's going to fit.
You may run. 36 by 12. And look at the front of it. Now, the back of it is faded, and that's my fault. I know I shouldn't have, but I did. I had this upside down on my front porch, and the back of it faded. I guess I wasn't thinking, and I had it out there for a couple of months in the summertime, but I had it placed upside down. So the front of it is perfect. The front of it didn't fade at all. But I was actually using this on my front porch. The colors are as vibrant as the day was new. It's nice and heavy. Could you hear that? If you could hear it. If you can hear fabric being crinkled.
It was an effective demonstration because, yes, you could tell how thick that was.
I'm so glad. So console tables, buffets. You know, back in those days, everybody had these what they called sofa table. You know, behind the Davenport, there was always a table with bookends or a small lamp or a candy dish, and they always were covered. You know, the mahogany tables had something like this on it in the 1920s and 30s and the Edwardian era as well. But this one, I'm telling you, the condition is phenomenal.
And you got Christina up to 43.
And it will go to a new home. And so we'll go ahead and count it down. Patrick, I'm ready to count this down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm sorry, you know I don't hold anything still. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
All right, I saw your countdown, so looks like we got a couple last minute bids. So let me refresh really quick.
Whoever wins this, you are going to love it, love it, love it, love it.
And it looks like Lisa RN snuck in right before the stop at 52.
It's Lisa RN at 52.
Yes.
Lisa, you are going to. You made it back from South Jersey. Thank you, Lisa. You know I'll be seeing you and Jeff soon. And I got a truckload for you and some surprises. Thank you, everyone who placed bids. I promise you, I am going to continue. I'm fussy when I see these, but if they're in bad condition or ripped or torn or faded, I try not to buy them. But I'm going to be looking this summer to try to find some more. They're here. It'll look great in your 1930s dining room. Oh, it will.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous. I was one of the bids, but green's not my favorite color. You're the green guy. That's not really my favorite color, so I didn't want to go any higher. But I would have fallen in love with that in my house.
Tell me your colors, Patrick, and I'll find you one.
Go back to those wine sap colors that you had, the burgundies. That's my color. Okay. All right, so my linen is going to completely fail in comparison.
No.
This is a $20 start, and it is back to we're a full-fledged tablecloth, not just a table runner. This is 80 by 64, so this is not as massive as some of the other ones that I've offered. And this actually was, if you follow me on Instagram, this actually was on my dining room table for a while. And I will just give it some credit. They don't make them like they used to. Yeah. Spilled an entire glass of Dr. Pepper on this. Came out beautifully. So it's a nice quality piece. But it has, let's get you the corner designs. It has the cut work and embroidered corner designs along with a line that follows the length of the tablecloth to get to the middle, which in this case is the showstopper of this is actually the middle piece, which is why I liked it. You end up having all of this cut work and embroidery work all the way in a rectangle around the middle. So this sat in the center of the table, the edges draped down. And the only reason I'm not doing it is because I'm swapping out this table to a round table. So this one's not going to work. So I don't need it. But this is a start of $20. And you get 8 matching napkins. So for the same price, you get the same cut work and applique design into the corner of very nice sized napkins. So there are 8 napkins, same fabric, same design as the 80 by 64 massive tablecloth. And it's just the cut work. The table I have is it's a mission style. So it's a dark wood. It popped through this cut work really nicely. So it really showcased the wood grain underneath. It really is a nice piece. I just don't have any need for it. But if you saw some of my Instagram posts, they were taken with this as the backdrop. Since I washed it, I haven't re-ironed it, so I do apologize. But it is a heavier linen but it does have the warp and the weave of the flax that does give it the linen, but it's a little bit heavier. And then it does have a stitched. I do believe this was done by machine. I do not believe this was all done by hand. So I don't quite know the era of this, but I would think 50s, 60s would be when these were popular. Maybe 50s, maybe even getting into the 40s, but it's a light, really, really light beige. I don't know how it's coming across. It's not white, but it's not brown. But the color in the thread has a little bit more of a taupe color to it. So that's it. You get the tablecloth and the what I'm at now is a 6 foot or a 6-person table, two at the head, and then 2 on each side. So I would say yes, but every table is a little bit different. My table is a little narrow, which does make it odd for tablecloth sizes, but 80 by 64 is a fairly standard size for that size, a rectangular table. 80 by 64. All right, looks like I see at least, I don't know my cheaters on, but I think I see a bid. So I'm going to go ahead and start the countdown on this. And again, for one price, you get the design. I try to hold it, take a page out of Scott's book, try to hold it still so you can see the gorgeous aspect of this pattern. You get the tablecloth and all 8 of the matching napkins. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And I'll be very happy seeing this go to another home because I did love this and I want to make sure someone else will love it just as much.
I believe that possibly Attic Fair Vintage has outbidded herself, and so I think it's sold for $25 unless I'm making a mistake.
I would agree. Okay. All right, congratulations, Attic Fair Vintage, great deal. If I sold that in my booth, I probably sold the napkins alone for the $25. So that's a great pickup. I hope you enjoy it. It's more about giving it a good home than getting a good price.
Well, I must ask you to bear with me as I recite the lyrics from a song. I sang it to Patrick earlier, but I'm not going to sing it now. Let me see if I can get through some of the lyrics. I know you're all going to say Johnny Cash, but I go way back before that. Oh, yes, way back to when it was recorded in the 1920s. And I'm going to recite the words as they were sung by a person named Vernon Dalhart. Are you ready?
And how much are we starting?
$4.
Why don't you start singing? Everyone, they don't even know what you're selling, but you're going to start singing this or speaking it, and they're going to just want to buy it because the lyrics are amazing.
Either that or they're going to go and watch the Matlack reruns. Here we go. I was standing by my window yesterday morning when I saw the postman coming up the path. And he was singing with such a jolly air. Oh, I little knew the sorrow that he brought me. He said, "Good morning to you, Jack." And I little knew the sorrow that he brought me when he handed me what? Now I skipped some of the lyrics. I'm waiting for some. Shall I start over again? I was standing by my window yesterday morning, without a thought of worry or of care, when I saw the postman coming up the pathway with such a jolly face and happy air. Oh, he whistled and he waited. Well, you're close. Stop singing.
You haven't given the magic rhyme yet. You haven't like what it's going to be rhymed with.
Well, they haven't said it yet. He rang the bell and whistled as he waited. Then he said, "Good morning to you, Jack."
There we go. There's your hint.
Little did he know the sorrow that he brought me when he had.
Oh, Gloria got it.
The letter edged in black. That's it. The letter edged in black. Now, I know Johnny Cash had a hit, but way back in the old days of the 1920s, there was a singer named Vernon Dalhart. That wasn't his real name, but that's the tune I know, and I kind of did some of the lyrics. The letter edged in black. This is how we let our relatives know that someone had died. Oh, I forgot the, with trembling hands, I took the letter from him. I tore the seal, and this is what it read. Come home, my boy, your dear old father wants you. Come home, my boy, your dear old mother's dead. Now nobody's going to want to bid on these.
No, you got a bid, and she said you got her with the song. You hadn't even showed him yet when she was bidding.
Well, that is the way we let folks know in the olden days that someone had passed away. And so it's called the letter edged in black. Now, these are old. They're unused. They came out of an old estate, and I believe these go way back to that very old time. The letter edged in black. And so there's the envelope, and you'll see that it is edged in black. And this is so that when it arrived at the home, people would know they were getting a death notice. That's right, before telephones, before Instagram and Facebook and all of that.
The opening scene of Gilded Age shows the postman delivering a letter edged in black.
I did not know that. I did not know that. Yes, Vernon Dalhart sang the Prisoner's Song. He sang a lot of songs called tragedy songs back then in those days. So you're going to get two of them. You know, hey, listen, people collect all sorts of things. And I think it's I don't know whether you would say charming or heartfelt, but we are so far removed today from death and dying, and it's so antiseptic. But you know, our grandparents were so much more connected in those days, and there were traditions, and this was one of them, the letter edged in black. So we've got two of them for you. They're unused, and I'm just offering them to you as a little piece of history. So we'll count them down if we don't have any questions, and I'm not going to sing that again. And I really was not, thank you, Eugenia. I have actually a better voice than that, but 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I messed the lyrics up. Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick. 3, 2, 1 on the letters edged in black. Go and look up, go on your computers when you're done. Don't do it now. Watch us. And then when it's over, go look up Vernon Dalhart, 78 RPM, and go listen to him sing The Letter Edged in Black.
And Karen Williams gets it for $4.
Karen, you got it. The Letters Edged in Black. Karen Williams. All right, Patrick, thank you for listening to me go on and on like that. How ridiculous.
All right. Well, I do not have any mourning items, but I can tell you that whoever owned this is now dead. So that's as close as I'm going to get. Because what I'm offering now is you get all of these together, and it is a $15 start, $15 start. The little hanging pencils should give you an idea of what I'm about to sell to you, but it is a collection of dance cards. So we've got the second annual ball. It's a Mason themed ball.
And the price?
$18.92 or $15 start, 15.
Okay.
February 22nd, 1892. It has been used, so you can keep track of, you could see who this lovely individual was dancing with that evening. She gave her quadrille to Alan. She gave her Sicilian circle to something, James Abram, maybe. She sat out some dances. Virginia Reel. Alan got another Virginia Reel. So we've got that. So you get that one, and that one actually has a lavender colored pencil attached to it. And there's no reason to believe that these are not original, because the pencil you can see is attached with this metal mount. So this is probably the original. So this is 1892. So this is my stuff. I love getting this old stuff. All right, so that's fun. This one not as impressive, but it is another. This is the All Day University from 1919. The Auspices, Boosters Club, and Union. This one also has been used. And she came late to the party, and then she just danced with Herman, Blackburn, Neuhauser, and Baumgartner.
Huh.
So that was Laura's program. So this is 1919.
Wow.
But here's my favorite. Oh, before I get to my favorite, I'm going to throw this into the mix. I think this might be a reproduction. It's just a cover. And you can see the ribbon would have been strung through there. But the finish of this is far too glossy. I have a feeling this is a reproduction piece. So I'm just going to throw this in to this set. So you're basically getting that for free. But here's my favorite. So this one also, now I don't know if this is, maybe Scott, you know this. I don't know if they dictated what colors dance cards were done with, but this is also like a bluish purple. But this is also, this is a dance card from the 5th annual dance of the Providence alumni, April 16th, 1925. She had you hear the term, my dance card is full.
Yeah.
This woman, actually, I don't know if I see her name on here. Her date's name is on here. I'm going to share that in a second. But whoever this was, she had a full dance card. She danced every single dance. And so she had somebody. And what I also found interesting about this is Ollie was her date. There's something on the back I'm going to share. Ollie was her date. Well, dance number 6 was originally assigned to Ollie, and he got bumped. So she could dance with Charles McPat or something like that. So Ollie was like licking his wounds afterwards, but he still got dance number 8. Okay, but here's the best part of this. This is for people that don't even like ephemera. You got to love this because there's this little section in the back for notes. Now, I've never actually seen one that has these notes. I sell these all the time, and I love having them because they're just fun, and they look great in vignettes. So this is, my escort was Ollie M. So she keeps track. He arrived at my home at 9 p.m. We arrived at the Elks Ballroom at 9:30 p.m. And again, it's like fill in the blank. So some of the stuff's printed, and then she fills in the pieces. After the dance, we went to the Chinks. I won't comment on that. Arrived home at 11:30. He left at 1:35. Okay, so let's say, first of all, you're like documenting your sluttiness, honey. So he was there until 1:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
And then I wore, and this is the fascinating part, I wore a green lace with silver. Okay, lovely. Again, this is the 1925, so we are in the roaring 20s. Remarks: wonderful crowd. Everyone good mixers, except Lil and Jack. We've got some cattiness against Lil and Jack.
Shade.
Documented 100 years later. Everyone was good mixers except Lil and Jack. So I think that is too precious. She did not dance with Jack. So maybe she was bitter that Jack did not want to dance with her. So she decided to call him out and his date Lil that they were not good mixers. So I think these are just a lot of fun. Again, 2 of them still have the pencils. Interestingly, the thin one doesn't even have a way, like I don't even know how this would have been, maybe the pocket, because it doesn't really have a wrist cord. Like these would have been on the wrist. So super fun. I rarely come across them with pencils. So you get all 3 of these, and then, just a cool little addition. Again, I do feel this is a reproduction, but the graphics on it are very, very cute. And even on the back, you've got the sword for the guy that's dancing. So I don't believe this is original. So I'm just going to throw it into the mix. So I do think I saw a couple bids maybe.
You did. You do.
Okay. So I will go ahead and start counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll close it up. Ollie ended up being her butler. Yeah, you can make all kinds of fun stories with this. And I'm sorry, even if somebody doesn't even know what a dance card is, you start sharing stories like that out of it, they will think that's fun. Because everyone knows a woman like that. They're like, oh, I had a great time except for those 2.
Patrick, I think it is Purdy Pansies at 17.
All right, Pretty Pansies. You are new to me, so my email address is on the screen if you can send me your information. And I appreciate those of you who did.
Okay. That was really, I was sitting here in my mind thinking of what the popular tunes were of 1925 as I was looking at your dance card. Okay, next up, I've got something for you to frame. Now, before I show it to you, I want you to know I don't cut up magazines. I'm not a fan of that. However, if I find them and the covers are gone, or there's water damage, or there's pages that are ripped, I'll salvage what I can. And so years ago, I don't know how long ago, I did salvage these from magazines that would have otherwise already been just junk. So I'll show you, and I'll tell you that we're going to start at, well, we're going to start at $8. And I've got Lincoln automobile advertisements suitable for framing. I'll show them to you individually. I don't know where that thumb came from. They measure 12.5 by 9.5. That's the overall size of the magazine page. 12.5 by 9.5. They're all from 1928, and they're all advertisements for the Lincoln automobile. Now, these are original advertisements, and I will show them to you. I'll back way back here, and we'll let you see them one at a time. So you get the Lincoln and all the information about that particular. Now, they're all different. There's one. Patrick is going to scream when he sees that this was part of a magazine called I know, but I promise you, Patrick, I did not butcher these magazines.
No, I understand. Right, because what's the date? 1928?
28.
They're just not going to survive.
Yeah, I would never butcher a magazine. I've got to tell you that the magazines were not able to be saved, but we can save the Lincoln. So there's one.
And you've got an opening bid of $8.
These are all from 1928. This one is also from, I would love to have actual theater magazine. I mean, I guess you could. Who is that? I don't know who. That's Helen Hayes. That's Helen Hayes on that side. Anyway, someone is saying, I think Purdy outbid herself.
Purdy's initial bid was below the starting price. I think it was just a typo.
Okay.
Yes, and there was somebody had already been at 15. So yeah, she just typed 7 instead of 17 and immediately corrected herself. So I don't think there's an issue.
So there's.
I love that they use birds as the theme through all of these. I've never seen those ads. Those are fantastic.
Aren't they great? And that one's just sort of an inner magazine page for, whatever that is, whoever that was. So I'm just showing you, and here's the fourth one.
And those would sell $5-10 a piece at the mall that I'm at.
Well, I mean, hey, frame them.
Yeah, exactly. You throw them up in a frame. You're going to be the only person in your neighborhood that has one.
I knew there would be cigarettes somewhere. And then the final one.
Yeah, you can't get an ad in the 20s without cigarettes. And
these are all, each one is different, but they're all from a different month in 1928.
Is the style of car something to do with the birds? Like, what kind of car is it? A Lincoln what?
I don't know what. Well, they're all, it says 4-passenger sedan. I'm not sure. And of course, the narrative is so flowery the way you do it. I don't.
It's just beautiful art design that they did that whole series. And one of them was a butterfly. And I just wondered if there was a connection to why they were doing flora or fauna.
Again, there's the back of the theater magazine, and that's June Walker. So anyway, you'll get all 5 of them suitable for framing. And now we'll zoom in and just quickly let you see the automobiles again. I do think we have a bid.
Yes, you do.
Okay. There's another one. Very stylish. Get yourself some nice black wooden frames or something, maybe even chrome.
And the colors on those are beautiful.
They're great. Okay, so we'll go ahead and count them down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Jones said great for a man cave, but also for a she shed. There's nothing wrong. There's women drive too, especially in the 20s.
Indeed.
All right, scrolling back to make sure I didn't miss anybody, but I think it's KP Gunther at $8. Great deal.
KP at 8. You get all 5 of them. Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, get rid of yourself. Go to where is he? There he is. Solo layout. All right, Patrick.
All right. I knew I didn't have just ephemera and linens. And I wait a minute, where'd the other? I was a little stack that I tucked to the side. I missed it. So for those of you who are looking for something other than what we've been offering, I've got jewelry. And so we are doing this entire lot of jewelry for $15 start. You get all 3 pieces starting at 15. We've got a red, lack of a better term, rhinestone brooch in the shape of a turtle. And these are unsigned. You have an enamel penguin with white metal, also brooch. These definitely have some age on them based on the clasp on the back. See if you can see it. So you can see there's some detail in his scarf that give him, I don't think there's actually stones. No, I don't think there's actually stones. I think it's just the way it's cut. So it looks like there's little rhinestones in his scarf. Beautiful condition. And then the third one is everyone's favorite, a pickle. So we've got a Heinz advertising pickle. Now this is built, it's plastic and it's built onto a safety pin. So I don't think this is particularly old, but I was trying to find 3 animal shaped or 3 sort of, representative shapes of jewelry. And the third one became the pickle. So for $15, you get all 3 of these. You get the gold tone turtle, the enamel penguin with scarf, and you get the Heinz pickle. And Al Hender says she already has a Heinz pickle. And it's just a fun, literally 3-dimensional pickle. So I've actually worn the pickle one as in my hat before. And then the beautiful red, all the stones are in place. Beautiful turtle. And the enamel's in great condition on the penguin. But I'm not seeing any jewelry lovers tonight, so I'm just going to go ahead and close this one out. I don't see any bids, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one so we can cover other items. So I'll send it back to you, Scott.
Okay, and let me just
keep that in mind. The jewelry is not the way to go in this sale.
Okay, very good. Just going to hit that refresh there and make sure that we do that. We are at 9:45. We've got about another 45 minutes or so to go. We might go a little bit longer than that. Let's just see if we've got any paint by numbers folks out there. We're going to start at $10 and you're going to get both of these. $10 is what we're asking for the opening bid on the paint by numbers, and they're very well done. They measure 12 by 16. They measure 12 by 16. They are not dated and they're not signed, but they must be from at least the 1960s. $10 is where we start, and they measure 12.
And Carmen's starting you out at $10.
Okay, 12 by 16. I guess they're pointers. I don't know too much about pups, but let me let you look at them. There is one. Hold it still.
I think he's a setter.
Setter.
I think the other one was a pointer maybe, but I think that one's the longer hair. I think that makes him a setter, but I'm not sure.
You know, the cardboard is old when it has this brown fading around the outside. That takes a while for that to happen. And then we have obviously painted by the same
Those are pointers.
Person. So they just need frames, and boy, folks love paint by numbers.
Absolutely. And everyone loves dogs too. So it's like you've just got super popular imagery there. And they're really nice shape.
They're in good shape and they're well done. I believe that they have, they were painted, and then to my eye, knowing furniture finishes as I do, I believe someone has given them an overcoating of sort of like an orange shellac and amber shellac just to sort of coat the top and finish the top. But that was done years and years and years and years ago, probably when they were painted.
Philip said are they the Pointer Sisters?
Well, you can see
those are nice sizes too. Those are really nice pieces.
I didn't tuck my shirt tail in. Let me fix it because I'll get in trouble.
So I think right now we only have the one bid at $10.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, they're coming your way. Ready? Shall we count them down? I think we shall. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Eugenia came in at 11.
There are those blasted balloons again. I don't understand that. I guess it's something that we do. I don't know.
I think somebody said when you hold up the number 1, it does that. It's reading your imagery. So let me refresh because it looks like we had a couple come in right at the last minute. And yep, it looks like Carmen Sittler snuck in right at the last minute for $12 right before the stop. Carmen, Sitler.
Carmen, thank you so much. And thank you everyone who placed your bids. Patrick, it's your turn.
Okay. This is for some people who might be watching tonight that are familiar with my channel. I meant to drop my link. I'll mention that later, but I'm Trusty Huckster Mercantile is my YouTube channel. And I started doing live sales actually before Scott. And I had an opportunity to carry hundreds of these vintage maxi pads. So we are starting at $10 start for the lot of 3. I thought I'd got rid of all of them, and I was cleaning up the garage and I found these loose ones. They would have been in the vending machines, probably from like in a hospital, probably from like 70, maybe 80s, 70s, 80s, based on her hair, kind of a Dorothy Hamill haircut there. Thinking probably the 70s. These are great. What they turned into, I literally have sold hundreds of these. These were turning into gag gifts. People would buy these and give them as, tie them on the outside of a package, or that is the gift. Mother's Day is coming up, whatever it ends up being, however people use these are, I know a lot of people sent me photos that they put these on display in their own personal bathrooms, that these are something you're not going to come across. This is the epitome of ephemera. These were not designed to stick around 50 years later. So you get all 3.
Yeah, they're great.
We looks like we're starting. Eugenia came in at $10. I see. Thank you. I typically was selling them at $5 each when I was selling them as part of my channel. So I just get rid of the ones that I've got, all 3 of them right now for $10. So and thank you, Jeffrey, for dropping the link to my channel. So yeah, Trusty Huckster Mercantile. We tried to chase it down. I don't know if I think the name Guards does still exist. And when we did a little bit of researching back at the time, it was for the vending machines. So they would have stacked in there. That's why they're so nicely boxed up. That's what you would have dispensed. And Guards is known as hospital supplier. So the idea was these are probably maybe in the washrooms or something at hospitals. I don't know. I thought I haven't had them available literally for years. Found them. And I figured, you know what? This is ephemera. So we're definitely going to offer them tonight. So I'll go ahead and start counting down. Eugenia's in it at $10. You get all 3 of them for the one price. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. and stop. Oh, Eugenie says she remembers them from high school. Yeah, that makes sense. They'd be in a school environment as well. Very institutional and very ephemeral. All right. Give me the final word, Scott, because it looks like Jeffrey tried to sneak in, and I'm not sure if he came in before.
Oh, let me hit refresh. It might be Jeffrey Reed at $11. It appears to be Jeffrey at 11.
Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. I would say enjoy, but that sounds creepy now. So I will just give them a good home, Jeffrey.
Okay. I have got a dish of lampshades for you. What?
Oh, we did have a question. I think somebody was asking if we had cookbooks, and I will say I do not have any cookbooks this evening.
I have not got any cookbooks for you tonight, but I absolutely promise you I will be looking for cookbooks in the future. But at the moment, there are no cookbooks tonight.
I have them somewhere in my collection, but I did not pull any for tonight.
Okay, I've got a dish of lampshades. What is he talking about? Well, we're going to start at $40. How does he have a dish of lampshades for $40? Hang in there. I know they look like Pringles potato chips, but let me tell you, my good friends, these shades are between 80 to 100 years old. Now go back into the 1920s when electrified wall sconces were on the walls. And these little candles, this is where, now, yeah, you can still find these today, but these are the antique silk shades. Are they in perfect condition? No. But they are in remarkable condition for their age. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 of them. 8. Now, you would walk into a dining room and there would be 2, sometimes double light bulb sconces, or next to the French doors or wherever. Let's take a look. They all match. They're all the same color. I'm going to light one up in just a second if you're waiting. I know you're probably waiting to see, well, I don't want to bid yet until I see what he's got. Well, let's just get one of them up there. There are 8 of them and they all match.
You never should have said Pringles, because that's now all I can think of and I'm hungry.
Pringles.
Because that's exactly what they look like.
I've got 8 of them. They are silk. Once again, they all match. And they were designed to go over top of the light bulb. Normally, these would be for wall sconces, but I've seen them on mantle, electric lights on mantles, electric candles with light bulbs. But 1920s wall sconces, that's what these were really made for. Let's take a look. None of them have any of the silk ripped on the front. A couple of them, there might be a little bit of a tear on the silk in the back. There's a stain here and there, but I promise you these are every bit of circa 1925. Let's just see what one would look like. Here I have a table lamp from the era. Now, it's not the right size. It wasn't meant to be on a lamp like this. I simply want you to see what it looks like. Yeah, dish not included. So, as you know, they would clip over the light bulb and they would hang on, you wouldn't see the socket. They would be actually on normally a wall sconce. And then, of course, the electric light would shine through like that. You really don't get the full effect. I can't really get you to see it. It really is incredible that the silk has survived. And
or as KP points out, it's surprising the heat didn't destroy the silk. And what we've got to remember is the light bulbs were hardly the brightness that we have now. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people would have been using 15-watt light bulbs. And you're right, KP, if you stick an 80-watt light bulb in here, you're going to burn this silk.
Yeah. Jeffrey's also mentioning theaters. I mean, these are the types that I would say if you picture the big curving staircase going up to the second level in a grand entry hall, it's lined with those sconces. You don't want to see the ugly, you don't want to see the ugly housing. You want something that's uniform and pretty.
And you can see that the metalwork back here is all hand soldered together. This is all hand done here, where done in the factory. So there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. I don't see any bids, and that's what we'll do is I'll probably, if I don't sell them tonight, I'll put them in my eBay store. This particular one has a little bit of a rip in the silk on the back, but not on the front. And the last thing I'll tell you is that one of them is stained. I'm not sure what that stain is. It's not a rip, but it is a stain. I don't know where it came from, but it did get a stain on the front. But again, these are, we're talking about shades that date to, this type of thing was popular in the 1920s. So if they're not going to find a home tonight, I will set these aside. And we're going to go back to the trusty huckster. Let's go get him. Solo layout, double layout. Okay, there we go.
And those will go really well on your eBay store because really you're still saying 6 of them are in pristine condition. So like that's a full set, you know, depending on what the sconces look like. So
yeah, and they just, I mean, you know, if you are a purist, I mean, you can find reproductions all day long, but if you know, a lot of us really, like me, I even want the old escutcheon plates on my electrical outlets to be from the era. That's it.
Yeah.
So Patrick, it's your turn. And what time?
Right.
It's almost, oh yeah, golly, we're almost
to the top of the hour. All right, my next item, I pulled this one because I specifically was selling those last pieces and referencing which somebody had come up with the last one. I sold them the Dorothy Hamill haircut. I have a Dorothy Hamill program that has been signed by Dorothy Hamill. So this is a $5 start, and it is from the 90s. So not quite, she doesn't quite have the same haircut, but we all remember our Dorothy Hamill from the 70s. This is addressed to John. So if we got any Johns out there, you're all set. But we've got Dorothy Hamill's autograph with a little smiley face in the Y of the Dorothy, and it is for her production of Cinderella on ice. And so we've got ads from the 90s for the Ice Capades, copyrighted 1993. So this is going after 1993. So I'd say it's probably from the 90s. And they're full page images of stills, just like you would get from the Ice Capade, the program, large size, full page images of Dorothy Hamill and all of her costumes skating in the Ice Capades. So it's just a fun little program, definite little capture in time of those of us who remember the Ice Capades. That was the big night out for my family, going to see the Ice Capades. And before the 90s, though, I was out of the house by then. But it kept going, and everyone wanted to see America's sweetheart, Dorothy Hamill. So it was a fun little find. I don't typically do autographs, but couldn't pass it up. Got it on an estate sale. I mean, you know what? That's fun. Offer it here. I don't see any takers, so I don't waste a lot of time on it. So I will go ahead and send it back to Scott. If anyone's interested in it, if I pick it up for $5.
I'm looking to see just to make sure. I think my comments disappeared there. Okay. It is 9:58. Now, I only have one item that I would like to show again. That's the little boy picture. We showed this earlier, and we had no interest in it. So actually, I think what I'll do is we'll hold on to this until another sale. I like to stick to the clock, but I'm going to turn it back over to Patrick and say, Patrick, you go ahead and highlight anything else that you have new to sell, or anything that you want to repeat. You have the floor.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll do something new. So if you can see behind me, if anyone wants the dresser scarf with the combs and brushes, or the finishing your basement catalog, I can show those if somebody asks. but we were looking for people born, a lot of people born in the 40s. Who was born in 1969? This is a $10 start. It is, I wish it had the big dollar sign on it, but this is your Denver Mint money bag. So it's the $50 in pennies of canvas money bag, which uncommonly is actually marked with the year. So 1969, I was born in 1970, so I missed this by a year. But if you've got somebody who was born in 1969, put their birthday gift in this. This is just a fun item that you are not going to see very often. It is a simple cut top, probably would have been folded over based on some of the creases that are in here. It was probably folded over and then clipped with a lock. It didn't have the big rope gather like in the cartoons with a dollar sign. It is literally a canvas money bag in really good condition. The seams are in really good condition, considering it's older than me, but basically the same age. Know somebody from Denver, know somebody born in 1969. I will definitely show you Virginia. I will show you the dresser scarf. That was the first thing I showed, and maybe not everyone was on yet. So I think I do see a bid for this for $10. I will go ahead. So we're already at the top of the hour. So I'll go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that goes to, from what it looks like, it will go to back in the day finds. Thank you so much for buying so many items from me tonight. I really appreciate it. For $10. So glad you're going to give that a home. And Eugenia asked to see the dresser scarf. So this is, it's kind of like toweling fabric. It's not really linen. It's like more like a dish towel fabric, comb and brush. I do believe it's a handmade piece because you can see some of the stitching in the back is loose and uneven. So I think this was maybe a craft project or something. But they embroidered the comb and brush at the top with the flower. And then these are pockets. And this was, I think it was a $15 start. There's little pockets that you could put. There's the lovely decorated comb. You can put whatever you want. The center pocket just has a rose on it. And then the brush. So arrow wise, I would put this, 60s probably. But it's in absolutely fantastic condition. The crocheted border is in really nice shape, still fully attached, no tears, no separations anywhere. The way it was made is like, I do think this was a dish towel that then got folded onto itself to then create these pockets. So, something you put in your bathroom, on your vanity table. You got the right colors, this kind of a gold and green color. It's just a fun little piece. And that was a $15 start. So that was that. All right. And pass it back to Scott.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Oh, wait.
You have
somebody came in.
You do. Mary Beth.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Sorry, I'm still noshing on my salted.
I didn't mean to interrupt. So if you want to give me back to full screen, then I'll go ahead and count it down. So just watch for the stop. So thank you, Mary Beth. She's coming in with $15. Thanks you, Jeffrey, for highlighting that. $15 opening bid. Again, comb and brush, a great little dresser piece. Count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Oh yeah, wool woman saying great for a beauty shop. I didn't even think of that. Or as somebody said before, just frame it. I mean, it's just a cool piece, and it's from the days when people did those types of craft projects because you didn't have the internet. What else are you going to do?
Looks like Mary Beth.
Mary Beth picks it up, and I'm not sure if I know you, Mary Beth. So my email address is on the screen here. You just make sure you send me your information. I will get you the invoice. Anything else you wanted to show last minute?
No, I'm going to call it quits. That was great. Okay, well, listen, wonderful. Thank you so much, Patrick, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Yes.
Again,
Thank you for having me. And yeah, I appreciate it. I think we ended up having like 350 or so people that were joining us. So it's fun, a great evening. Hope everyone had fun.
we did, and join us on the fourth Monday night of every month at 8 p.m. for Unbreakables. And you can see we stretch the definition of ephemera just a little bit, but we're sticking with Unbreakables. Patrick, great stuff. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. I'll be sending out invoices tomorrow morning, and Patrick will get to them in a couple of days, I guess.
Yeah, I will try and get them to you by Wednesday night.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So your next sale will then be, it'll be next week, right? Because that'll be the first, April 1st will be the first Monday of April. So that's your solo show?
Yes. I will be doing another sale next Monday night. Yes, we have an extra Monday night in this month. So yes, Patrick, I have.
No, not in this month. The extra Monday's in April. So a week from today will be April 1st. So that'll be already at the beginning of April. But that's why we have 5 Mondays in April.
Indeed. And so wonderful. And so this is Holy Week, and everyone who observes Maundy Thursday and Good Friday and Easter Sunday, I hope you have a lovely week, and we'll see you. And then I'm going to be having some fun this week because for a couple of days, Jeffrey Reed is going to be in this area, and we're going to do some shopping and maybe bake some Florence Harding cookies. That's all I'm going to say.
I have to watch for that.
You will. Now
I'll have to pull out I've got my First Lady's presidential cookie cookbook. I'll have to make sure you're making them right.
Just the mention of Florence Harding cookies should send the blood rushing through your veins.
You just reminded me that I have a box of Girl Scout cookies I haven't eaten yet, so that might be my snack after our show.
Go for it. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks again for having me on your channel, Scott. Really appreciate it. Everybody have a great night.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a lovely evening. So long for now.